let me tell you about my wild life as a struggling gamer. You see, my folks have so much money, they could use $20 bills as napkins. But do they share any of that cash with their dear child? No way. Instead, they cooked up this sneaky plan to keep me under their control. They took out loans in my name, stuck me with credit card bills, and even gave me a car they knew I couldn't afford. All to turn me into their personal helper. It's like a crazy comedy show, right? Seriously, I'm like Cinderella, just without the fancy clothes or the handsome prince. My mom's always saying, "Honey, you need to learn the value of hard work." And I'm like, "Mom, I'm level 85 in World of Warquest. Isn't that hard work?" You see, I'm all about gaming, staying up late for epic battles, scoring sweet gear, and beating other players. My parents, though, they just don't get it. They think I'm wasting my life on silly games, as they put it. One day, my dad said, "Son, if you spent half as much time on your future as you do on those video games, you'd be rich." So I shot back, "Well, Dad, if you spent half as much time being a caring parent as you do counting your money, maybe I wouldn't be in this mess." So there you have it. While my friends are out there enjoying their lives, I'm stuck serving my debt-ridden sentence to my own family. It's like I'm living in a twisted tragedy where the pain just keeps on coming. But hey, at least I've got my trusty gaming console to keep me company. As I always say, in a world full of NPCs, it's better to be the main character with a side quest than to be a side character with no quest at all. Let me tell you some of the soul-crushing things my dad makes me do as part of my debt repayment. Keep in mind, this is all coming from the man who once bought a diamond-encrusted toilet seat just because he could. Yeah, priorities, right? One day, my dad barged into my room where I was happily grinding levels in my favorite MMORPG. "Son, the pool needs cleaning. Since you're not doing anything productive, why don't you get to it?" "Dad, you know we have a pool guy for that." Well, today you're the pool guy." So there I was, fuming, scooping out leaves and scrubbing tiles, while my gaming character stood idle, probably wondering where I'd gone. Another time, my dad decided to throw a lavish dinner party for his wealthy friends. Before the party started, he handed me a tuxedo and said, "Congratulations, you've just been demoted to head waiter." I was beyond shocked. I mean, I've got the reflexes of a pro gamer, not a silver platter balancing expert. So there I was, serving canapé and pouring wine for my dad's snobby friends, each of them looking down their noses at me. One of them even had the nerve to say, "Oh, look at the little gamer boy playing dress-up. Don't spill anything on my designer dress, or I'll have your father double your debt." The humiliation was unbearable. But I held my tongue knowing that one day, I'd have my revenge. And you can bet it'll be as epic as any boss fight in any of my games. My rich parents decided to take their cheapness and cruelty to a whole new level. They forced me to eat expired food just to save a few bucks. I mean, seriously? One day, I was starving after a long gaming session and went to the kitchen for a sandwich. My mom had cleared out the fridge and left a note. "Eat the expired food in the pantry. No new groceries until it's gone." Are you serious? I reluctantly searched the pantry for the least expired item and found a can of tuna that was only a week past its date. As I opened it, I joked, "Guess I'll need a real-life healing spell if I get food poisoning, huh?" As I took a bite, I mumbled sarcastically, "Thanks, Mom and Dad, for this 5-star meal." The next day, I paid the price with a stomachache from hell. Oh, and here's the real kicker. My parents claimed they were saving money on groceries for my little brother's brilliant career. The plot twist? The little tyke is only 5 years old and is already living like a king. While I'm stuck eating expired tuna, he gets the freshest, most expensive food money can buy. The injustice is mind-boggling. When I confronted my mom about it, she said, "Darling, your brother has so much potential. He'll be a successful doctor or lawyer someday, and we have to invest in his future." I rolled my eyes. Yeah, a 5-year-old who can't even tie his own shoes is destined for greatness, while your gaming genius of a son gets a short end of a stick. Makes perfect sense. So things got even more bonkers with my parents. One day, my dad caught me gaming, again, and he completely lost it. He screamed, "You're wasting your life on these stupid games," and kicked me out of the house. Just like that, I was homeless, all because of my gaming passion. So as if life hadn't already kicked me in the teeth, there I was, living on the streets. My trusty gaming console tucked away in my backpack. And then, the unthinkable happened. My girlfriend Jenny saw me in my homeless state. She walked up to me, her face contorted with disgust, and said, "Is this what you've been reduced to? You're a disgrace." I tried to keep my cool and I retorted, "Well, Jenny, at least I'm not the one dating a guy just for his money. Oops, too bad that guy doesn't exist anymore, huh? You're pathetic. I can't believe I wasted my time with you." In a last-ditch effort to save some face, I shot back, "You know, they say relationships are like video games. Sometimes you have to lose a few lives before you find the right player too." Jenny rolled her eyes and raised her voice, drawing the attention of people nearby. such a loser. I can't believe I dated you, she shouted and then stormed off, leaving me standing there, completely humiliated, as the onlookers stared and whispered. So there I was, humiliated and abandoned by my girlfriend, feeling lower than ever. But life has a funny way of turning things around, and that's when my stepmom swooped in to save the day. Now, let me give you some context. My parents divorced a while back, and my dad married this super rich woman. I always assumed she was as terrible as my dad, but boy, was I wrong. My wealthy stepmom, who'd been secretly supporting my gaming hobby, contacted me and said, "Listen, I know your dad went overboard, but I've got your back. I have a luxurious villa where you can stay." I was shocked, but hey, I wasn't about to question it. Trying to keep my cool, I responded with a smirk. "That's a generous offer, but I need more than a fancy roof over my head. What about my gaming needs?" My stepmom chuckled and replied, "Oh, don't worry. I've already set up the ultimate gaming room just for you. Every console, a top-of-the-line PC, and a gaming chair that will make you feel like a king." I couldn't help but laugh. You really know how to sweeten the deal, don't you? All right, you've got yourself a deal, but only because of the gaming setup, of course. I moved into the villa, which was like a dream come true. Marble floors, a huge pool, and the most amazing gaming room I'd ever seen. As I settled in, I joked to myself, well, guess I've unlocked the hidden villa achievement in the game of life. As I explored my new luxurious home, I discovered that I wouldn't be living there alone. Much to my surprise, I would be sharing the villa with my gorgeous stepsisters. I'd barely met them before, and our first encounter in the villa was far from welcoming. They looked me up and down with disdain, sneering, "Oh great, the useless gamer is here. This should be fun." Things just kept getting weirder and weirder. My stepsisters, who were as mean as they were beautiful, led a double life. During the day, they relentlessly teased me for being a nerdy gamer. "Look at our dorky little brother," they'd laugh. "He's got his head stuck in video games 24/7. I'd just roll my eyes and carry on. But sometimes they'd throw in a little flirtation to really confuse me. "If only you could use your gaming skills to find a girlfriend," one would say, biting her lip and giving me a playful wink. I never knew how to react. At night, it was like they became completely different people. They'd sneak into my room and whisper, "Hey, we know you're dealing with a lot, and we actually think your gaming is pretty cool. Let us help you out." I couldn't believe my ears. Were these the same girls who mocked me just hours before? So every night, my stepsisters would join me for gaming sessions, and we'd have an absolute blast. I'd teach them my favorite tricks and strategies, and they'd share theirs. It was like we were living in a bizarre sitcom called Mean Stepsisters by Day, Gaming Sidekicks by Night. The funniest part was that they'd always act as if the night gaming sessions never happened. Each morning, they'd go back to their usual taunting, like nothing had changed. As my gaming skills paid off, I started making some serious cash as a famous streamer, always in great company. One day, I decided to throw a wild party to celebrate my gaming success. Everyone was there, including Lisa, my new girlfriend who I met at a coffee shop. Up until that point, I had kept my fortune a secret, pretending just to be another broke guy. My stepsisters, of course, were also present, along with a bunch of other people who had no idea how loaded I was. To maintain the facade, I had my driver park my Lamborghini a few blocks away. The party was crazy, and everyone was having a blast. At some point during the night, Lisa disappeared, and I started to get worried. That's when I saw her outside, flirting with some guy leaning against a Lambo. She didn't know the guy was actually my driver, and the car belonged to me. I couldn't help but chuckle as I watched the scene unfold. I decided to make a grand entrance to reveal my true status. I approached them, acting all surprised. "Wow, nice car. You must be really successful," I exclaimed, pretending to admire the Lamborghini. My driver played along, shooting me a knowing grin. Lisa's face turned bright red as she realized her mistake. My stepsisters, who had followed me outside, couldn't contain their laughter. "What's the matter, Lisa? Can't tell the difference between a boyfriend and a chauffeur?" one of them snickered. After that wild party, I decided to take my gaming career to the next level by starting my own company. My skills and experience in the gaming world helped me create an innovative and successful business. Before I knew it, my company was thriving, and everyone wanted to be a part of it. One day, I got a call from my ex-girlfriend, Jenny. We'd broken up long before I struck it rich, and she'd always told me I'd never amount to anything. Imagine my surprise when she came crawling back, begging for a job at my company. "Hey, I heard you started a gaming company, and I was wondering if you had any openings," she stammered nervously over the phone. I couldn't help but smirk, remembering all the time she'd put me down. "Oh, Jenny, how the tables have turned. You used to say I'd never amount to anything, and now you're asking me for a job?" I could hear her swallowing her pride. I know I wasn't supportive before, but I've seen how successful you've become, and I think I could really contribute to your team." I paused for a moment, considering her request. Part of me wanted to tell her to get lost, but another part of me wanted to give her a chance to redeem herself. In the end, my compassionate side won out. All right, Jenny, I'll give you a shot, but you better work hard and prove that you're not just here to ride my coattails. About a year after I offered Jenny a job at my company, I was walking down the street when I stumbled upon a familiar face. It was Jenny. She had refused my offer back then, calling it too cheap, and now here she was, looking dirty and disheveled, begging for change on the sidewalk. Jenny, is that you? Her eyes widened in surprise and embarrassment when she recognized me. Oh, hey, yeah, it's me, she muttered, avoiding my gaze. I couldn't help but feel a little bad for her. After all, she had once been my girlfriend. What happened, Jenny? How did you end up like this? She sighed, her pride clearly wounded. Well, after I turned down your job offer, I couldn't find anything better. I kept trying to chase a high-paying position, but nothing worked out. I lost everything and ended up here. I thought for a moment, and then decided to give her a second chance. You know, my offer still stands. You can come work at my company if you want. Jenny looked up, her eyes filled with gratitude. Really? You'd still give me a chance after everything? Hey, we all make mistakes. Just promise me you won't chase after money like that again. As a renowned gaming influencer, I'd managed to keep my identity hidden and never showed my face on camera. I use voice modulation software to alter my voice during live streams and videos, allowing me to stay in the shadows. This air of mystery only fueled my popularity in the gaming community. One day, I came across a post about a girl named Lucy, who was being targeted by vicious cyberbullies. Instead of using hacking methods, I decided to use my influence to rally support for her. I shared her story with my followers and encouraged them to send her messages of encouragement and love. The outpouring of support was overwhelming. Lucy's social media was flooded with positive messages, and the bullies were quickly ostracized by the online community. In the end, they backed off, and Lucy was able to regain her confidence. When Lucy discovered that I was her rescuer, she reached out to me privately. "You're the famous gaming influencer who saved me," she asked in disbelief. "Yes, it's me. I just couldn't let those bullies continue to torment you." One day, while scrolling through my social media feed, I was shocked to see a post from Lucy, publicly asking me to marry her. "Mystery Gamer, you saved me when I needed it most, and you've shown me what true love is. I want the world to know how much you mean to me. Will you marry me?" The post quickly went viral, with thousands of comments and shares from our followers. I was stunned and overjoyed by her proposal, but I hesitated to accept, knowing that our lives would be changed forever if I agreed. Before I could respond, Lucy made another surprising revelation. In a follow-up post, she disclosed her true identity as an undercover billionaire heiress. "Dear followers, there's something else you should know about me. I'm actually a billionaire, but I hid this fact to protect myself and find genuine connections. I can't wait to share my life and fortune with the love of my life, Mystery Gamer." My heart raced as I read her confession, realizing that our love was truly built on a foundation of trust and honesty. With that knowledge, I made my decision. I replied to her post, accepting her proposal with open arms.